Well, markeedragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and welcome to my backyard. Beautiful morning, the sun's just coming up. I got a lake out here, all the wildlife. I love it. I just got to watch out for people have been finding cottonmouth snakes in their yards. I'm out here in my sandals, and so I just got to be careful about knowing my environment, making sure that there's no snakes here. So I got this message. I'm going to leave the person unnamed because they're asking something that if a future employer knew this, they would have cows about. So he says, my name is, I'm leaving that blank. I'm from Arkansas, and I'm a combination pipe welder or X-ray quality pipe welder. He says that things are pretty tough in the industry. And he says the jobs out there don't get me, let's see, he doesn't have the experience he needs to get onto the job sites that are out there. And so he wants to know about whether or not, he should lie on his resume. And he says that every job site wants 3 to 5 years of prior work experience. And he says that he's heard about many people who make fake resumes and stuff like this. And he, says that he's a little bit worried about it, though, which he should be. He says that he's 19 years old. And so if they want 3 to 5 years of work experience, think about that. If you say you have 3 years, it means that you started when you were 16, which means that you didn't finish high school, which means that maybe you're not as advantageous of a find for them if they were going to hire you. So he says that lying on a resume is illegal. I'm not sure that it is, unless you're working for like a government job. I'm not sure it's illegal. Unethical, yes. I'm not sure it's illegal. And, so he talks about having to do a test. And that if they were to test him on whether or not he had the ability to do it, that the stuff that he was being hired for, whether or not they would actually, whether or not they would actually figure out that he's lying. Well, I think that the very first thing here is that if you lie on a resume, you've got a big problem. Because if you get hired and later they find out that you lied on your resume, if I were your employer, I would immediately fire you just for that fact, no matter how good of a job you were doing. And that's just, ethics. It tells me that you are somebody that I don't want to have on my team. Because I'm not willing, gosh, it's a murder of crows. Because I'm someone, I don't want anybody who has ethics problems working for me. Even if you're somebody who's out there as a construction worker, welding or whatnot. I do know that people make mistakes in their past, and that there's a lot of construction workers who, may, it's one of the jobs that is easier to get with a felony than other stuff that has security issues and everything. And so, with that said, I don't think that I don't think it would be acceptable. And so, now I also think that they would catch you because you're 19 and they want 3 to 5 years worth of experience. I mean, come on, do the math. You're going to see that you're 19. And then it's not about, that you know how to do it. It's about the experience level. And so let's see here. Something that, let's just take making videos, for example. So somebody who's made videos for 3 months compared to somebody who's made videos for, let's see, how long have I been on YouTube now? I've been on YouTube for 7 years. So do you think that at somebody who's done it for 6 months, maybe even a year, that they will have all the knowledge and experience and finer attention to detail as someone who's been doing it for 7 years. I think that that's what they're looking for. And so you got to work yourself up through the ranks. You can't just skip ahead, because there are finer details that you'll miss. You may think you know all of this stuff, but what you may find out is that you don't. And that's okay, you know? And I know it's hard to get a job. And so, okay, let's talk about getting a job and what works and what doesn't. Here's what really works. What really works is that it is more about who you know than what you know. So, you need to find somebody else, a friend of yours or whatever, that is doing this kind of work, and you need to talk to them and say, hey, when there's a job opening, let me know. And then ask them if they'll put in a good word for you. If they won't put in a good word for you, that should say something. It means they don't have the faith in you. If they do have the faith in you, they'll put a good word in for you. And, you know, ask them to to get you an interview, even though you don't have the same amount of experience, and that you're willing to come in and prove what you can do. There you go. So now you've had an introduction into some place, and you can go and show off your skills, get a chance to get it. I did that once. I was, at one point, the youngest driver ever hired for TriMet in Portland. TriMet is a bus company, public transit, and this wasn't school bus stuff, this was city bus stuff. I got hired before I was 21, before I was 21. I was still 20 years old. And in order to drive a bus, you have to be at least 21. Now, they hired me knowing that during the training I would have my birthday and I would be 21. And so I was like 3 days into my 21st birthday whenever I started driving professionally on my own. That was kind of cool, huh? But I couldn't just walk in there and get a interview. And a lot of these places, they look at the resumes and they determine off of that. So they don't even pay attention to what who you are. They just look at your resume, and this is why you want to lie on your resume, why you're talking about that. And so anyway, I got an introduction so I asked for a favor from somebody I knew who knew somebody there. I knew the general manager, and I said, will you just ask them if they'll just give me an interview? Get me an interview. That's all I need, and then I can take the rest from there. And so they did. And so the word came back to me saying, apply, they'll give you an interview. I applied, got the interview, got the job. And so if you have faith in your skills, that's the way to get in. That will get you much further than lying on your resume, and it will it's also much higher ethics and probably a higher success rate. People are willing to hire people that are recommended over people they don't know. So try that. Hope that works out for you. Good luck, and keep working on your pipe welding. Markeedragon, take care.